Until 2005, the government was intent on politics of inclusion under the movement system. Then the tide changed. Political pundits today say the country was not prepared for the return to political parties at the time.
We were never ready. And we could have had a readiness. We could have provided for a transition. But you see, politics became so polarized. It was them against us. You know, there was no middle ground.
A section of politicians desire return to a semblance of the rejected movement system.
You can say we will not have parties for 10 years, all right? Why? Because we want people to understand how parties are.
No party should move on individual merit for another 10 years.
But the others find it offensive to suggest the movement system despite the crisis admittedly faced by political parties.
We can't go back. Can you go back to your mother's womb? You, tall man. You can't. That's done.
It can only be continuous growth. But you see, when you strive for it and then you say we are not ready. So now as political parties, we can't even go out there and mobilize people and talk to people with ease about our agenda without being disrupted and so on. How do you blame that on political parties? And then you say we were not ready. You let us be. Let's go out there. Let the people decide.
Critics hold that they expected the havoc that is wrecking down the political parties. They argue that this is because the bourgeois establishment was simply pressured into conceding to the fight for return of political parties.
It was reluctantly given the multi-party system. There have been impediments built to kill multipartyism.
Museveni had never wanted multi-party politics. At Chankwan's there, he said, I was there, he said these people, since these people are disturbing us, tubejeko. He was saying, tubejeko, let us push them away from us by introducing the multi-party political system. It was not that he said, let us introduce multi-party political system for the good governance of this nation. No. Tubejeko, now after Tubejeko, we shall never give them the political environment in which to organize and lead this nation.
NRM may not have wanted it, but there was a referendum and the people of Uganda decided. So what did you want NRM to do when the people of Uganda have decided? Secondly, NRM just have to consolidate itself as an organization and run the affairs of the party as a party, like we are doing.
The return to the multi-party system in 2005 reactivated from hibernation the two surviving pre-independence political parties, which are the Democratic Party and Uganda People's Congress.
UPC! UPC!
Everybody!
Along with DP and UPC, the Conservative Party, which was founded in 1966 by the former Katikiro of Uganda, Joash Mayanja Kanji, meant to close the gap left by Kabaka Yeka, had also been waiting for the reopening of the political playing field. However, the three parties met stiff competition from the newly formed Forum for Democratic Change, whose membership was composed of those fleeing from NRM.
One Uganda!
They were joined by those departing UPC and DP as well. Since the reopening of the political space, several parties have registered with the electoral body. Today, there are 26 political bodies in existence.
Our power! People power!
Despite the plurality of the political parties, none of them has dislodged the national resistance movement from power 20 years after they were restored. Accusing fingers are pointed at the regime for frustrating and undermining the activities of the opposition parties.
Since 1969, political parties have never been given a chance to fully operate. Not just by President Museveni, but all other leaders who have been before. So the political system remains, even up to now, remains problematic. The opposition is looked at more like an enemy than an opponent. You go for an election in Kawempe, and the whole state machinery, UPDF, police, are all there raining blows and caning opposition. And you want to tell me that we have resolved the question of a political system? We haven't.
Just look at how many of our people get kidnapped. And then they'll take them in torture chambers, beat them up, and so on. People are held in jail, you know, the Machetes, the Rashid, Segujas, and others. I mean, you know, Seguja's out, but there's several others. And they will hold them there. No offense committed, trial is not progressing, and so on and so forth. Why? Because that's his way of operating.
So there are really no functional political parties. They're not allowed. You can't raise funds. If somebody was, a businessman was known to have given money to an opposition party, he'll have problems with Yara, he'll have problems with the NEMA, he'll have problems with all manner of government agencies.
Not for you, America.
All the major opposition political parties have developed deep cracks that threaten to bury them. They have been left with either splinter groups or cliques.
Hello, Uganda! Wake up, Uganda!
There's no single political party in this country which has not been infiltrated. They started with UPC. We ended up with Anakena claiming to be president. In spite of the decisions of the court, the government still have them on their books as the president. Okay? And his wife as a minister.
The Democratic Party and UPC are in cooperation with the NRM, and key players from the parties have been appointed to ministerial positions.
There are people who have been asking whether DP is still alive. You have got your answer. Those who were saying the party was sold have come here to nominate. Why do you nominate to lead a party which was sold?
The NRM regime defends that the government has created a conducive environment for the political parties to thrive.
What NRM has done, which wasn't there before, it has even enabled the parties to receive funding from government. This has helped the parties in Uganda, and this is something that is very beautiful. So whoever accuses NRM, perhaps they don't understand what NRM is.
That money they're talking about, NRM takes nearly 75% of it. So they are happy for it to continue to be available because 75% of it is theirs. So they cannot say that, you see, we are doing you a favor. No, they're not doing anyone a favor. They take 75% of that money. All the other parties get 25%. But they, of course, they'll use it for propaganda value and that kind of thing. Look, all that we have gotten to be, it's because there's been a fight, a continuous fight.
It's not their father's money. What did they sell to give us? You cannot prohibit a party from finding money independently and coerce it into receiving state funds and then use that, turn around and use that against them. It's them written in the Political Parties and Organizations Act that they have limited ways in which parties can function, can fundraise, can relate, can coalesce. It is all the impediments are legal and administrative within the law.
Instead, the opposition parties are accused of lacking proper ideologies.
Soon, yes, quickly, yes. Because we don't understand what political parties are. What is tell me, what does NUP stand for? Apart from removing Museveni, what do they stand for? What does the FDC stand for? Apart from removing Museveni, even the movement as such is not yet a political party. It's still a movement.
That is the kind of parties we have in this country. They are not realistic. We have failed to use them. We have failed to learn how parties work. We come from another party because we are annoyed. Then somebody says, let us sit down and we join. How does the man who you left because you quarreled join with you? So we have a problem with the parties we have, and therefore we need to re-educate our people what parties are.
I don't know what policies that the official position pursues, and what are the policies of the ruling government, the ruling party. There are none. It's all a hazy place. So we are all lost in that mire, in that myth. Nobody knows what does NRM stand for.
The pundits agree that there are no political parties that are true to what parties are supposed to be, and neither do they see the way out of the quagmire. They hold that certainly the political parties will find the right footing in the future. Jackson Onyango, NTV.